It's ready. It's recording now.
Okay, call the meeting to order. This is the meeting of the City of Watsonville Board of Library Trustees. What's happening here?
Lisa's showing her.
There it is. Okay. Roll call. Blanca. Baltazar.
Hi, good evening, everyone.
Okay. And Munoz is not coming, right?
Correct.
Okay. Providence Medrano Martinez? No. Yes?
No.
Not here.
Don Brown? No. Victoria?
Here.
Barb Corrigan, that's me. Joyce Parr?
Here.
Okay. Okay, so we have 3 no's. Okay. Can I have a motion to excuse the absent trustees?
I make the motion, but I believe that Don Brown is present.
Oh, okay.
No, I don't see him. That's Alex. That's Alex Chavez, our circulation
No, he
manager.
just joined, Luz.
Oh, okay. I don't see him.
Hi, Dawn.
Hi, everybody. Sorry, I had a little trouble signing on.
We don't see you, or I don't see you.
I don't either. But he's on there because we heard him.
Okay, that's good. Okay, it's time for public input. Do we have something from Beatrix?
So we're moving the agenda item from new business, which is the Board of Library Trustee bylaws, to at the beginning of this meetings, because they're invitees. And so Tamara and B are here to present the bylaws. So with your permission, if it's okay.
That's great. Let's do it.
All right.
Thank you, Alicia.
Mhm.
You can share the screen. I want to share, or you can, well, no, let me share the document. I want to be able to share it so that we scroll down at our page.
Okay.
Were you able to send this out?
Luz, can you allow Tamara to share?
Yes, I made her as a co-host.
Great. All right.
Yeah.
Sorry, Blanca.
I'm just wondering if we need to approve the agenda with the changes. I don't remember if someone made the motion to approve the agenda with the changes.
I don't think anybody did. Do I have a motion?
I'd like to make the motion to approve the agenda with the changes.
And
Could I see what the agenda with changes looks like, please? I'm only seeing the very top of it, this very top line.
yeah,
No, this is, I don't know you're making a change to the agenda. It's just mostly taking an item out of order. It's if I am understanding what your intention is. Is that correct?
Correct.
Oh, let me be clear. We're moving item 5, new business, 5.A, Board of Library Trustees bylaws, and we're moving that to the first thing on our agenda.
Mhm.
Thank you, Blanca.
Is it possible to put the agenda on the screen there?
Go ahead, Alicia.
as I was saying earlier, it's going to be nice when we can just meet in person.
So here's the
I
agenda.
don't think nice is is
So if we're already,
nice doesn't describe it.
yeah. So if we're already, Tamara is going to, MB are going to review the bylaws. You're ready to share.
Yeah, done. So it's basically taking item 5.
Mhm.
Can you hear me?
Mhm.
Do we need to take action on the motion?
Oh,
It's
the
not a motion, it's just a change in order.
motion, yeah.
Okay, so Tamara's gonna share her screen.
All right. So I want to first say thank you for the opportunity to have me and myself as guests of your Board of Trustee meeting today. We are here to support library director and staff in discussing with the trustees the bylaws that are to be used by this body as you conduct business. And I don't know, I believe there are some of you that are new to the commission and others that may have been with us for a while. And there are some changes in the document that you will be reviewing with us this evening. Not changes that are necessarily new things that we're proposing, but more things that we are clarifying to align the way decisions are made and recorded in compliance with the Muni Code, and how more aligning how our City Council and other commissions like the Parks Commission, Planning Commission, and Personnel Commission conduct business. So we want to offer, a forum that where everybody is familiar with the same rules and the same parliamentary procedures, and is somewhat consistent across the board. We many times see people that move from one commission to another, and many times many of our commissioners end up in the role of a council seat. And it's very exciting to see that ongoing engagement, but it's also a great training ground for those of you that may have aspirations to serve in the council one day. So in that spirit, we would like to take a moment to review this document with you. I just know, Alicia, did they have a copy of the document, the final copy?
Yes, it was emailed to the library board.
Yeah, so I'm showing it on the screen just so that we can review it together, but feel free to review it on your own time or as we go. But basically the cover page is really in the charter. So the role of this commission is outlined in the charter, in the city charter. And the city charter is established with voter approval. So it's not something that can be changed by the council. Is always, it was established by the voters. And the role of this commission is outlined there. And again, it shows that the commission consists of 7 members, and it outlines your duties as a commission, just overseeing the city libraries administration under the guidelines of these bylaws, right? And considering the annual budget that is prepared by the library director, and then forwarded to the council and city manager for final approval. And then the commission is involved in overseeing the purchase of books and journals and maps and publications available at the library. And as part of that duty, then is also charged with looking at the expenditures and disbursements for purchases made under this section of the charter. You're also commissioned to accept money, personal property, or real estate donated to the library. And of course, that's always subject to approval of the council. And contracts with the schools and government agencies that want to partner with the library are also a subject matter that under the preview of this body. And again, it is the city manager who ultimately has the authority to sign on all contracts and agreements that the city engages in, and that's for more purposes of liability, but this body can recommend contracts and agreements to be signed. And just performing other duties that relate to library matters that are consistent with the councils and definitely with the charter of the city of Waxahachie. So that's in a nutshell some of the duties that are, and if you have been serving in this role, you probably have seen many of those come across you, right? Any questions about the role that you would like to entertain right now?
I'm just wondering about the number, what was it? E, accept money.
Mhm.
So if we accept money, but it has to be approved by the city council?
It's usually made in the form of a recommendation. So, sometimes the library has been approached by members of a family who someone passed away and they have in their will, they wanted to benefit the library, for example, and they leave some money for a specific purpose. So then Alicia will bring that for the commission to consider accepting that. And if the commission decides to accept it, then that recommendation gets forwarded to the council and finalized at the council level. So that's how that will look like.
So are
Yeah.
there reasons not to accept money?
Are there instances where money is not accepted? Yeah, I believe there are instances where money is not accepted.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that I've lived to see it, but I have heard of cases, depending, sometimes money comes with string attached, right? So if the strings that are attached to that money are things that are not consistent with the mission of the library or the direction that the city leaders are, the council, then the money may not be accepted. Or sometimes somebody gives you $100,000 to do a project that might cost $2 million. So then you don't accept it, because then that kind of like puts you in a position of having to fund the gap, right? So there are instances in which you will want to say thank you, but not thank you. As good as money can sound.
And so it's our job to ferret those things out. Is that what you're saying?
Your job is, yeah, exactly. And then send the recommendation forward for final acceptance or denial. Yes.
Thank you for explaining that tomorrow.
Of course, my pleasure. And you work together with Alicia to really understand, those strings that are attached to the donation or the receiving money, right? So Alicia will be your partner on that. So here are, I'm gonna just keep going, and we're gonna cover the entire document, and then, but if you have questions, maybe we'll take them as we go. That way it's easier. So again, the membership of this commission is 7 members that are appointed by the council, and the terms are 4 years, or the unexpired portion of a term of the council member that appointed you. So if somebody appoints you and they only have 2 years left in their term, then your term as a trustee will only be 2 years long. No board member shall serve for more than 2 consecutive full terms, and that will be 8 years total.
Okay, I have an issue with that, because I've been on this board for years, and I was not aware that, there was a limit.
Usually I keep track of that. So whenever you're up for appointment, I check to make sure that you're still within the limits.
Okay.
Because there'll be instances when you will serve more than 8 years if you got appointed in midterm, because it does say it's full 4 year terms.
Okay.
So someone may end up serving 10 years. But we keep track of that in my office.
Yeah, because I was appointed by Trina originally
Mhm.
and served with her, and then now I've been appointed by Jimmy, so
But yeah, but you still have
time.
time.
Okay, Good.
You can't get out of it that easily.
So again, if you find it necessary to resign of your appointment as a trustee, then you would write a letter of resignation to the library director, and a copy will be forwarded to the city clerk. Again, because she tracks membership and appointment. And
that's great.
so this is meeting attendance. It's also a relevant point, and I believe it speaks of something that we were experiencing earlier today, or at least it's coming up. I know that members shall be expected to attend all meetings except as they are prevented by a valid reason, and lose reports attendance of commissioners to the city clerk, and the city clerk keeps records of that. If a board member is absent for 3 consecutive regular meetings, unless excused by motion in such board's official minutes, then the board office becomes, sorry, hey, becomes, come on. I'm sorry, working from home is not easy. So that seat becomes then vacant, right? Because the person has missed 3 consecutive meetings. Additionally, the city council may declare by resolution a board office vacant if the board member has 2 unexcused absences. So you can have 3 excused absences or 2 unexcused absences during a period of 1 year. Is that clear? So elections of officers, I think I was at your January meeting when this took place. And there's a really small tweak in how you experience this that will again make it consistent with other boards, as I was explaining. So in accordance with another section of the charter, the commission will elect a chair and a vice chair, and for the term of 1 year. Any member may nominate a candidate, just like it happened at your January meeting, and for the chair and vice chair of the commission. And then election take place at the beginning of the agenda. And the difference between what you all experienced this January as to what the bylaws say is that the new officers assume office immediately. So the baton gets passed on at that moment.
So after the election, that's new president and vice president.
Yes. And at that moment, so because you were all there and I was there, I can speak like, you know, Victoria, you were facilitating that meeting, that election took place. And then me not being familiar, I got really confused and I was like, why does she keep talking? So go ahead, Victoria.
Oh, I just thought this doesn't have to be included in the bylaws, but it just as a commission, if we could just get some minimal training on how to do that, because not all of us have served in board meetings. And it, to me, it was a little confusing when I first started to run the meeting. I was like, what am I doing? So just that little FYI would be kind of nice. Like even like a cheat sheet would be so helpful.
Thank you for that.
Right, Barbara?
You're right.
Yeah.
Well,
And
in duties of officers, maybe it talks about that a little bit there. Could we take a look at that?
Sure. I'll take a, thank you, Victoria, for saying that. And that's perfect to know, you know, that support is needed for all of you. We, you know, there's only 12 meetings that you facilitate, but you facilitate the moment you get elected. So, wow, how do you do it, right?
Exactly.
So just having that, and then maybe the opportunity to meeting with either the city clerk or with the library director as to what's expected in your role, I think are great suggestions for process. So we will note that and work to do that.
Yeah, one of the things that we do with our new mayors before the meeting, we go over with them with the agenda, and so that they know what they're supposed to be doing, what's coming up. and a little bit of, it's like a training, but we do it before the meeting, a week before, the day off, just to make sure that, you know, he or she understands what, because they see it all the time, but it's not the same. As soon as you get on that seat, it's totally different, because now you are doing it and you didn't realize that you were not paying attention when the chair was doing it before. So yeah, that's something that the Alicia can schedule with the new chair. Of course, a lot of times you don't know who the new chair is going to be, so that's the problem.
Yeah.
So is it Robert's Rules of Order that needs to be understood, or?
We're gonna cover that, Donald, that we're gonna cover that in a moment, and it is not Robert's rule. So again, like the whole inspiration of this review is to, one, bring you all up to speed about parliamentary procedure, and then make it consistent with how other commissions and the council makes motions and takes votes. So, and we don't follow Robert's rules. It's slightly different, but very similar, slightly different. That's why we brought the big guns today with the city clerk. Victoria, I want to say that I would have not known you didn't know how to run the meeting, because I think you did an excellent job.
Yes, I think so too.
Yes, you did a great job.
Well, but you weren't here the first few meetings that I started.
That is true.
The whole thing about like motion to approve and like all that, I needed a little training on that.
For sure. Well, that's great. Great point. Thank you for doing that, saying that. Okay, so I'll proceed. Duties of officers. The chair shall preside the regular meetings and the hearings, and can call a special meeting of the board. If the chair shall decide on all points of order and procedures during the meeting, and his and her decision shall be final unless overruled by the majority of the members present. I doubt that you will ever see that happen, but I hope you don't. What's up, Victoria? Go ahead.
Have we thought about editing the language a little bit there, the his and her? And like a lot of, like at Cabrillo College, we're changing it sometimes to just say their, gender neutral, just because you never know who might be serving on our board.
Good point, Victoria.
I did it. Did you see it?
Or it can say, and the decision shall be final, and then you don't have that. You don't have to worry about gender.
Okay, there you go.
It'd be good to just go through the whole document and just look for that.
Yeah.
The chair shall sign all official copies of the minutes for the meeting. So that's another duty, signing the minutes. The vice chair really serves to fulfill the duties of the chair in the absence of the chair. In case that both the chair and the vice chair are absent for any meeting, an acting chair shall be elected among those present at the meeting. The board secretary, a member of staff and city library department, shall record all exhibits, petitions, documents, and other materials presented to the board in support of or in opposition to any questions before the board, and shall prepare such reports, studies, and recommendations as may be necessary to assist the board in conducting your business. So, any questions about those duties of officers? Pretty simple, mostly managing the meeting.
Excuse me, where does it talk about agenda? You know, who has the power of putting together the agenda?
That's coming up. You ask the best questions. You're just right. We're going to answer that.
You'll have to excuse me. I wrote the Constitution for our union.
Yeah.
No credit.
Nice. Thank you for bringing that lens. Is this you, B, from here on?
Yeah.
Go for it.
Okay, so then we get to meetings and we have regular meetings. Your regular meetings are established on the third Thursday, beginning at 6 p.m. We did add a little bit, some language to make it so that if for any reason the time needs to be changed, the library director, in consultation with the chair, they can change it. For example, if 6 o'clock is too late or you have another commitment, the library director and the chair could decide to change it without making it a special meeting. From time to time. It doesn't mean that they're gonna change it all the time. And then it talks about adjourned meetings and special meetings. A special meeting is a meeting that is not at the regular established date. So if you want to meet on a Wednesday, then it would be a special meeting. And a regular special, and that would be called by the library director and the chair, or the majority of the members at a time specified on the agenda. So if for any reason someone wants to have a special meeting, the board, you would have to have it on your agenda. Open meetings, and all of our meetings have to comply with the Brown Act. And most of you know what the Brown Act is. It's state law that requires that notices, the agendas are published 72 hours. Regular meetings are published 72 hours prior to the meeting. And they have to be posted and also on the internet. If that doesn't happen, if for some reason the agenda doesn't get posted, you cannot have the meeting. A special meeting is 24 hours when the agenda has to be posted. That's basically what the Brown Act says, and we have to follow it.
And where is the agenda posted?
So the agenda is posted outside the library. We have a board there that all of our agendas, City Council, Planning Commission, all of our agendas are posted there. And Alicia also posts the agenda at the library. Next to the room where the agenda has been, where the meeting is gonna be held at.
And is it posted online anyplace?
Yes, it's posted on the website together with your agenda packet. Okay, and the public has access to it, and that's how they actually come into this meeting right now, that is virtual meetings.
But
Okay,
if you are to meet in person, then it gets posted by the near the meeting room too.
Yeah.
Or if you meet offsite, then it gets posted.
there.
You know,
also.
so if you ever decide to meet at the Freedom Branch Library because you're holding an event or something where you're all going to be together conducting business, then you post it too at that building site. So that could.
But it always is posted downstairs and just outside the library. All of our agendas have to be posted there. And okay,
Here.
Did I miss the location? Was the location there also?
So we have here, yes, you did.
Yes, okay.
Here, so that's a new addition. The commission, when we come in person, Barbara, I was saying earlier, nice doesn't cover it, right? Like I really would love to go back in person. The good news is that our county is expected to have herd immunity in May, is that what we're hearing. So like, you know, it's great news because more and more we will be seeing in-person meetings again. So if the commission elects the other commissions have elected to use the council chamber to conduct business. And that's a really nice addition because it makes it in a very standard place that's open to the public, that the public is familiar to visiting. So you have that option. Or you can choose to meet in a community room as necessary. So that's the location.
Yeah.
We got some nice rooms in the library.
We do. We do.
So
Okay,
then we get to quorum. The quorum, you have to have 4 members of the board present at all times. And that's just pursuant to our municipal code. And then if there's absence of quorum at the meeting needs to be adjourned to the next regular meeting. You may conduct the meeting, but there's no action can be taken.
Okay.
Okay. And the reason for that is that for any any action taken, you need 4 votes, 4 affirmative votes. So if you only have 4 people and 3 vote yes and 1 votes no, then the motion doesn't carry. And so that's why the reason for not continuing the meeting if you don't have a quorum. Okay.
And then in relationship to what was happening earlier today, at the bottom of absence, you also see that members have a 15-minute period after the scheduled time of the meeting. So we can start at 6. We hope to start at 6, but then you might want to wait 15 minutes to determine lack of quorum.
In the meantime, you could take, for example, reports that do not require an action, so that you're not just waiting for 15 minutes without anything happening.
That's a
The
long
member,
time in a 1-hour meeting.
yeah, I know it is a lot. And then we get to voting, and that's the parliamentary authority. In order to make it consistent with all the other commissions, we are recommending that you use our municipal code. The municipal code has an entire article that deals with voting in rules of order, and they don't use the Roberts rules or Rosenberg. So we're just, the only thing that we're putting here is the things that you will be doing most of the time, and anything else you would refer to our municipal code.
Would it be possible for you to get a copy of that to us so we could look over it without having to look it up?
Yeah, Alicia, you can
Yes. I can
provide a
do that
copy
for you.
for
Mhm.
them.
It's also on the city website.
Yeah.
Just out of curiosity, how is it different than parliamentary procedure rules?
You know, I'm not very familiar with the others, like Robert's rules and Rosenberg, I believe, because what we use here is a procedure that was adopted, like I believe in 1970. So it's been a long time, and that's the only one that I am familiar with. It's not much different. It differs a lot, I think, when it comes to substitution motions and other things that we don't use that much either, the council. They've been using them a little bit more lately, but we don't use that much.
Hold on, I touched my screen.
Oh, you want me to do mine?
No, I have it. I just need to find the right tab.
Okay. So then, and I already touched on the 4 votes required for any motion. And then we go to the agendas, and you were asking about that. And also the agendas, we're gonna follow the municipal code. And in order to place an agenda on an item on the agenda, it's, so let me see, but items may be placed on the board agendas by staff or by the board in consultation with the library director and board chair. Commonly, library staff places item on the agenda in accordance with the department's missions and City of Watsonville strategic plan. So basically, Alicia will be placing the items on the agenda, consulting with the chair. And with the council, it's a little bit different. We actually have a committee that reviews the agenda, but for the commissions, it's only the director and the chair who decide what to place on the agenda.
So is there, like, if I wanted to place an item on today's agenda, is there a date by which I need to have met with, I guess it would be Alicia and Barbara to do that?
Yeah, you could talk to Alicia and Barbara Alicia, do you have those dates of when you need that type of information? For council, we require that they do that 2 weeks prior, the agenda.
A week would be, is suffice.
Week, okay.
Well, I want to caution you to just say a week, because for an item to be placed on the agenda, you need to research it, you need to prepare a staff report, you need to know what your recommendation would look like. It's not just like putting the item on the agenda, it's putting the item on the agenda, doing the work behind the item to be prepared for the board discussion, understanding what your recommendation and your alternatives are, right? So you want to give yourself a little bit more time, because a week will be sufficient to post the agenda in 72 hours, but it may not be sufficient to actually have the preparation that is required to bring an item for the discussion of the body, or at least not to have a productive and informed discussion, right? So my recommendation will be talk to Alicia as soon as you think of an item that you would like the body to discuss, and allow Alicia in working with the chair to figure out what's the right timing for the item to be placed on the agenda. I just want to make sure that that's understood, so that people don't expect it to be on the agenda in a week, because there's work that happens, right?
Yes.
In preparation for it.
And then just the following is just, so the agenda format is also similar to what the city council has. And Tamara, you're going too fast. And the
I
commission.
don't want you to read it.
Yeah. So that order is actually in the mini code. So we follow that order for our agendas, the roll call, the presentations, and consent agenda. And the reason that that's important too is because we all are using the kind of the same template, all the commissions, the council, because we use the same agenda management solution. So it is important that we're consistent.
Could you go over what consent agenda items are for me, just to help me understand what they are?
So consent agenda, it's, for example, the minutes. The minutes is something that is customary in nature. For the council, we have a lot of approval of contracts. There are things that come to the council every council meeting. That's a consent agenda, because they can be approved all at once. They don't have to give a report for each item. So we have 10 items under consent agenda, and the council can approve them all at once instead of one by one, and having staff giving reports for each one. I don't know that would be the case for the library, but your minutes could follow under a consent agenda.
Expenditure reports too. I know at the meeting that I participated in January, I believe it was probably you, Dawn, too, that had asked about expenditure reports. And that's one of the duties that this body is charged with, just to review the purchases. So that's another item that the council takes under consent agenda, just a review of expenditure reports. It doesn't need to be discussed line by line. That doesn't mean that if you have a question about an item that's on consent agenda, you couldn't ask a question. You can always ask a question. You can always pull the item out of consent if you want more robust discussion on the item. But it's really a way of like kind of streamlining. Particularly, there are some bodies that meet and that have a lot of items on agenda. So then this kind of consolidates the decision making for those that are routine items, as B said. So
Thank you. That really answered the question and gave me some good information. Thank you very much.
You're
you're
welcome.
welcome. And it also outlines, how the commission may choose to form a committee, and how the board will assign and appoint a chair for a committee. It is asking for that. And then if you have a committee, you can have the committee time provide a verbal or written report to the commission at large. I believe a good example, oh my God, you gave me so many good examples for these at your January meeting with the poet Laureate, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
right? So that I know you're working on you know, with Alicia in a group, and you're going to be making decisions. So whoever's working with that team that's working with Alicia and doing that could come back and do a presentation where Alicia doesn't have to do all the work herself, right? You can help her. So that's that. And then it also conflict of interest. You want to cover that one? Bea,
Yeah,
or-
so as you know, you probably already filed your 700 form, which is your conflict of interest statement. And for the library, I believe you only have like 2 categories that you have to file. And that's just so that you can let the public know, you know, if you work for another company that's doing business in the city, if you receive gifts and those kind of things that are public, the public needs to know those kind of things. So April 1st, everyone needed to file. So I think you're familiar with that, or when you got appointed also.
So how does this apply to us?
Did you file a conflict of interest?
I'm just
You
trying to
can-
figure out what kind of conflict of interest I might have. I just don't, you know.
Well, for the library board, you have less than most of our commissions where they have to file for every single category. But for you, it would be, for example, if you work for a publishing company and you want to sell books to the library, you know, there would be a conflict because you may be receiving financial gain by having the library buy all the books from your company or something like that. Okay,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
So
And then
okay.
amendments just basically says that the bylaws can be amended at any time when the need arises by resolution of the board. And then the adoption is that if the majority vote and it's adopted and it becomes effective right away. And all the other bylaws that you had previously are now void. And that's it. That's basically it. We try to keep it very simple and consistent with all the other commissions. So if you move from commission to commission, then you know you get there and you already know how everything runs.
So we would like to ask for a motion to adopt and approve the bylaws as presented this evening. Unless there are any questions before that motion, we're happy to answer, but if not.
Does that include the changes that Victoria suggested that you edited into the document?
I believe Victoria suggested more like a
Change-
training, more than just putting it on the bylaws. Your suggestion was to develop like sort of a training program, right, Victoria? Did I catch that?
Or even just like a cheat sheet.
Yeah, but
Just
not as part of the bylaws, but as part
Yeah,
of the.
and she also asked for it to be gender neutral.
Oh, gender neutral.
We can go through them and find a replace and make it so your motion could be to allow us to make those corrections.
So just to be clear, so if somebody makes a motion, it needs to be seconded, and then we have a conversation about it, and then we vote about it. Is that
Yes,
right?
exactly.
Okay, thank you. So we have to put a motion on the floor to adopt the bylaws.
Mhm.
And I would move that, and then somebody needs to second it.
And I want to say adopt the bylaws incorporating gender neutral language. So we will read them again, make sure they're gender neutral, and then everything else as presented this evening. That will be the motion.
May I ask a question at this time, or do you want to do a
For-
second
well-
and a discussion?
I think first we have to have the motion seconded, and then we can have that conversation. Is that
Do I
right?
have a motion?
I so move.
I second.
All those in favor?
No,
No,
not
no,
yet.
No, Barbara, there's
No,
no
we need to
discussion.
call roll call.
No, we don't vote on it. We
No,
have
they're
a
not voting on
conversation first, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay,
So now Blanca, you can ask your question.
Yes.
So I'm just wondering, in the other bylaws, because I know one of the things I heard is that you want consistency with other commissions. I'm wondering if there is a section in the bylaws around training, because I wouldn't want it to get lost. You know, as people come in and out, bylaws are pretty fixed, and if you incorporate a section on training in the bylaws, then we know for sure it's going to be a standing item that is going to continue beyond us, you know. So I know that you said that we would just kind of do the training on the side, but I'm wondering if it can be incorporated into the bylaw, so it's part of the process.
Don?
I would like to echo that, and just, you know, when I used to go to union conventions and all that, you know, we ran on Robert's rules, right? And then there was a list of how you do Robert's rules. And when I asked the question about, do we use Robert rules, you said we use a slightly modified version or something a little different than that. Well, it'd be good for all of us to know those things. So as we're having our meetings, we can, you know how the process works. You know, process is really important, I think. And so I think going over that section about, you know, how you know, we govern our, you know, run these meetings, you know, how we put things on the agenda, like I was asking about, but how we, you know, have conversations with each other, you know, how we put a motion on the floor and then, you know, vote on it and have a conversation between those things and stuff like that. I think that's really important to, you know, how to amend that, you know, if we want to change it, right, and make it work in a different way because somebody had a really good idea, right? So I think that'd be really good.
I think what we can do is at the end of the bylaws, add the municipal code sections, that article. So it's you know, you have it there together. If it's electronic, we can put a link, but because it's not electronic, we can just add them there so that, you know, you can have them there for reference.
Victoria and Blanca, does that sound like it meets what you're asking for?
I like to add, Don, if you don't mind.
I'm sorry.
I like to add a suggestion. I hear you, Blanca, and I actually appreciate the spirit of just kind of leaving that legacy, right, of today's informed discussion, right, for generations to come. And I appreciate that. I think we can do two things. One, this is something that your board should review every 2 years, because every time a new council member is elected, you may have a new board trustee, you know, appointed. So that is part, we can in that vein, just kind of add that the board will commit to review this document every 2 years so everybody is up to speed on how to do this, and including it that trustees will receive training in how to conduct the meeting as they assume you know, leadership roles as chair or vice chair of the meeting. And that should be fine. We actually have outlined for the council, our city attorney has a cheat sheet that says, okay, you make the motion, it needs to get second, then it's discussion. Then the motions are not amended. If you don't like a motion, then you don't amend it, you vote on it, you let it fail, and then you make a new motion. And that's really the big difference between Robert's rule. Like the amendment is really where we departed from kind of like those other models of decision making. That's really where the difference lies. But other than that, you make your motion, you second it, you have discussion, and then you have roll call, right? And we have all that outlined by our city attorney. So we can do that. We can add language. If you trust us that we can capture that, then I'm happy to add a section on review of bylaws and training as discussed tonight. I see a thumbs up from the motion maker. Do we have a thumbs up from the seconder? I believe it was you, Blanca. Is that sufficient? Okay. Madam Chair, do you want to call the vote, or do you want to call for a vote?
Do I have a vote on that motion? Oh, do I go through
No,
the
Luz,
rules? That's
Luz,
how-
would you,
does roll call.
would you do a roll call, please?
Yeah, Luz.
Okay. I gotta get back to roll call here.
Barbara.
Your
Barbara
mic is off.
says roll call.
Here we
Does
go.
the chair do roll call or does the board secretary do roll call?
Liz would be great to do roll call. She can
Mhm.
capture in the minutes. yeah.
Okay, I've got it here if you don't want to do it. Okay.
I got it. Baltasar Saba,
Yes.
Munoz,
Aye.
Munoz, Brown,
Yes.
Mañales,
Yes.
Corrigan,
Yes.
Parr.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Well, congratulations on adopting your bylaws this evening.
Tamara,
Thank you for,
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
When I move it, do I have to move? This is not under consent agenda. We just did the reordering of the agenda. It's still under new business, correct?
Still under new
Yes.
business.
Okay.
correct.
When you do your minutes, you do move it up. You say the board change the order and you have this first before everything else on your minutes.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank
Hats
you all for
off.
your time.
Thank
Thank you
you.
very much for that.
Thank you.
All right. Good night.
Good night.
Okay, do we have reports from the friends?
No, you need to do the consent agenda.
The consent, oh, I'm sorry. Okay,
Let me just bring it up.
okay, so did everybody read the minutes of the previous meeting? Do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Second,
A second.
all in favor?
I,
I,
I have to do roll call. Here we go.
sorry.
Baltasar Saba,
I was not present, so I will abstain.
Okay,
Brown. Brown,
He's frozen.
while he moves, I'm gonna say he's gonna approve.
Yeah, he did a thumbs up.
Oh, Mañales,
Yes.
Corrigan,
yes,
Parr.
yes.
Motion passes to approve consent agenda.
okay, so do we have any unfinished business?
No, we're presentations and oral communications is next.
Oh, we're still up there. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Do we have any communications from the public and the trustees?
I do, and I sent you all the flyers, so you're all invited to Journal X Grand Inauguration. So it's our first literary arts journal. So yeah, join us May 7th, 6 p.m. on Zoom. A lot of fabulous readers, alumni, and also faculty and students from Cabrillo and also beyond. We have people who contributed from all over. So
That's nice.
yes.
I'd like to make an announcement if it's appropriate.
Mhm.
So I'd just like to share that there is also a community COVID-19 vaccine clinic happening on Sundays at Sequoia High School. The intended population is educators, childcare providers, and farm workers. So if you are aware, I'll send you the flyer. There's a phone number where people can call to schedule an appointment, and also a a link if they have access to online, but there's a number where they can also call to register to ensure that those who don't have access to the internet can also call. As we're really pushing to get that herd immunity here in our community, right? That we talked about earlier. And also Santa Cruz County Office of Education has partnered with all the school districts in the county, and they will begin to provide 16 and older vaccines, COVID-19 vaccines as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
I also have an announcement. For those of you who know people who might be food insecure, every other Friday, and tomorrow is the every other Friday at the fairgrounds, they're doing food distributions from Second Harvest. So if you know anybody who needs some food, it's a good place to go. The thing I'm wondering about is they have these satellite distributions at different sites throughout the community every other week. And I'm wondering if there's a way maybe we could post that or make that available for people to know about.
Okay.
How are people finding out about it now?
They have these little, calendars they give out to people at the distribution,
Okay.
lists of different sites and the dates that they do that, so that folks, can't drive out to the fairgrounds or wherever can get something locally.
Okay. Does anybody think that that's something the library should do, or should, I don't know.
Yeah, I guess.
We can just get the information and we can distribute it in the library as a handout, if you can get it to me, Dawn.
Yeah, I'll be happy to get that to you.
Mhm.
That's a wonderful thing. It seems like there's so many things like that in our county that nobody should have to go hungry. So that's great. Okay, anything else about the library director?
So I've shared with you our reopening plan. The only thing that's changed is our dates that we are going to open. We are in phase 3 right now. We opened the main library on first floor, March 17th. To a very happy community who is coming in, and we are allowing them to browse our first floor children's collections, and are also able to use the early literacy computers at a safe social distancing. So only so many are on for them to use. And so we've gotten a very positive feedback from our public because we're open. I am planning to move to open the second floor for browsing also, and that will start May 3rd. And we are still, because we are not at capacity for staffing, we will maintain our regular hours of operations that we have now, which is Monday through Friday from 12 to 6. And I also plan to open Freedom in June. At the beginning of June. I'm not sure if you've heard, but Newsom made a declaration that he was going to open the economy on June 15th. And so I am starting to prepare and make us ready before that, directive that comes through. We will have hours of operation at the Freedom Library from Tuesday through Saturday from 2 to 6 p.m. That'll give time for those who have distance learning education in the mornings, finish their schooling, and then can come and visit the Freedom Library if they're so near that area, Freedom Library branch area, to come and visit us in the afternoons. And also allow for a day on the weekend where patrons could come in and pick up materials. We are also shipping materials back and forth. So if people will request that they would like materials to be picked up at Freedom, we will more than happy to do so. And then hopefully, if everything goes well, if we will all be vaccinated and at a percentage where it'll be deemed more safer. We will be opening fully the labs, everything in June. But in the interim, we have placed all our chairs, our seating is all in regulation with all the social distancing guidelines. Staff is still wearing masks, and we are sanitizing our areas of high use. I also wanted to mention that we will also have upgraded our bathrooms to contactless toilets, contactless faucets, and soap dispensers in order to help with the guidelines, the safety guidelines. Any questions?
Are people still going to be required to wear masks after June 15th?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Until we hear from the state that there's a no mask. We don't know who's been vaccinated and not or not. And so for precautionary reasons, our staff will still continue to wear masks, and we will ask patrons to wear masks. We will not be taking temperatures or asking the questions that are currently being asked at doctor's office or other places of entrance. Okay. Also, things are changing constantly in regards to sanitizing, and so those will be looked at, but we are not going to quarantine items for 72 hours. It'll be at a 24-hour minimum. So, but we do want to let you know that all our high areas of use will be sanitized on a regular basis. Yes, Don.
Alicia, from what I've been hearing, it's like the surface touching stuff is not the way this virus is spreading so much as, through airborne, respiratory, and so has anything been done to improve the filters or to?
All have been taken care of. They're all, that was done at the last year in April. All the air filters were changed according to county and state regulations. So there are different types of filters in our HVAC units.
And has there been anything else done to, monitor or to filter the air besides the filters? I mean, you go to the medical, your doctor or something like that, and they have these, kind of
Yeah,
devices.
we're not considering libraries are clumped under retail. We're not required to have air purifiers or any of those type of machinery in the library. Yeah, it would get very costly.
No, I get it. I'm just curious what
I've been to my dentist and there's this loud machine pulling all the air particles out of the air. Yeah.
Just curious, who among us is fully vaccinated? Me.
I had my first shot. I'm getting my second one in a week.
Okay. Good.
Yeah, I get my second one next week.
I'm fully Barb.
Me too.
And in regards to the strategic plan, we met on Saturday with the city council and all department heads with a consultant, and we're moving forward to a new 2-year city strategic plan and our goals and objectives. I'm going to be meeting with our admin team. Will align with their 6 priorities. We fall under community engagement as one of the line items. As soon as we've identified those objectives, goals and objectives and measurable outcomes, I will bring those to the council for you to look at a next board meeting. So I'm just making an announcement now. Yeah. Yes, Dawn.
Would you like our input on what those might?
Yes, so I will, we will write them up and then you will also have input. You can make add or take away. We do want to make, from the meeting that we had on Saturday, the key takeaway was how we as an institution, a library, can provide more collaboration and education among other departments, and also create more programming in a way that is more inclusive and equitable for all. Okay. I also want to report that the library was awarded a grant from the California State Library in the amount of $12,000, and it is called the Art iTech. And this is to provide technology-based programming for youth. And so that will be, we're in high gear and we're ordering all the equipment that we need technology-wise and that we need to carry out in the summer. So the librarians are really busy right now making sure we will be able to offer video casting, broadcasting experience to our youth and via laptops. So I'm really excited, and also use other current technologies that we have in the library, the 3D printer machine, and then we went ahead and ordered some really cool electronic pens. So we're really excited to provide this innovative workshops during the summer. I wanted to let you know that statistic-wise, our numbers are slowly incrementing, considering the pandemic. I will send you, Luz will send you a copy of this. If I just send this one screenshot, it kind of breaks the link. So I have to, Luz is my Excel guru, so she will send that to you. But as you may notice, our totals are not as where we would like them to have been, but we understand it's because we've been closed, but they are slowly growing. So this month's total is 12 months and last month was 10. So we've gained 2,000 more checkouts. And we have our computer usage, and then we are constantly registering new patrons.
And how about the hotspots?
Hotspots are all checked out. They're a hot commodity. I've also had the opportunity to apply for another grant through the Southern Library Cooperative Association and the State Library, and cross your fingers that it is awarded. It's for another $7,000, and I plan to purchase an additional 15 hotspots with 6 Chromebooks. And my intention is to have a hotspot and a Chromebook checkout at the same time, because what's the purpose of having a Chromebook if you don't have internet access at home?
Thank you so much for our community to get those.
That's one of the goals in our current strategic plan, is to help bridge that digital divide. So any little thing helps. And then I wanted to also touch on a community-wide survey that was conducted by Great Blue, and it just the results came in March, and that was done by the city of Watsonville. And they had questions about the library, and they surveyed city residents. And it said that nearly all respondents either strongly agreed or someone agreed that the city of Watsonville Library contributes to a positive quality of life in Watsonville. That was 98%, and that the library contributes to lifelong learning. So that was a 98%. So we are doing a great job. The other thing I wanted to highlight was that all those that were surveyed, residents strongly agreed or someone agreed that the city of Watsonville Library contributes to a positive quality of life, and that the library contributes to lifelong learning. And then 9 out of 10 respondents said that the library is important to the vitality of the Watsonville area, and the library is an integral part of educating youth in Watsonville. Those were overwhelmingly above 96%.
Where was that survey conducted? Because I never saw it.
They called a pool of people. It was done through Great Blue. So if you were a Watsonville resident, you would have gotten a phone call, or you would have gotten something somebody would have gone to your house, I believe.
Oh, so they probably just picked like a target.
A random sampling.
Oh,
yes.
okay. Got it. So I never got it.
Yeah.
Neither did I.
So this is something that I would encourage for us to like know about in advance before these things happen, just to know that they're happening, if that's possible.
Absolutely. This was something that was done back in December, and we didn't meet in January. So yes, if we would have, and we didn't meet in December either. So yes, that is my fault. I should have brought that up sooner. Of course, I will always inform you. That's why I'm letting you know about the strategic plan, even though it hasn't been implemented or it hasn't, happened. It's in the process. Questions so far?
Didn't we do a strategic plan last year?
Yes, but this is, our goals are going to align with those of the city.
Oh, okay.
So how will this information relate to that in the future?
The data from the survey?
Yeah.
It will give us impetus in continuing to focus on those areas that they've highlighted that we are doing a wonderful job. Lifelong learning, educating the youth. Mhm. I'm going to also add to that some measurable outcomes. So you will see how many people we served and how many programs and so forth of the nature. Circulation statistics. Okay. In regards to comment forms, we didn't get any written, but we've gotten a lot of individuals coming into the library and saying that they are so happy that we're open. Want to let you know that we're one of the first libraries in the Tri-County who's did a big push to open the first floor of the library. So we're a trailblazer. So everybody's following after
Better,
us.
huh? That's great.
Staff needs a big pat on the back for that.
Oh, absolutely.
For sure.
Absolutely. And Alex and both Watonka have done an amazing job of ensuring, and Tony, our employee engagement, and we all do events so that, we do appreciate all the work that they've done. So that's it for the oral communications.
Okay. So,
Alicia, I'm wondering if there's anything that we need to vote on. I do have another meeting I have to get to. I thought we were going to be done at 7.
yeah.
And so I'd just like to know if I need to stay for another vote or am I okay to just be excused at this time?
You're okay to leave, Blanca. It was the bylaws that you really need to vote on.
Okay, great. Thank you. And I apologize.
Blanca, I apologize for asking all those questions. I just wanted to be clear.
No, it's okay.
Right.
There's a lot going on with reopening of schools right now. So the day doesn't end at 5 o'clock. So
You get your work cut out for you. Thank you for what you're doing.
yes, thank you. And have a good evening now.
Mhm.
Okay, so unfinished business. I think we finished all of our business tonight, didn't we?
Just wanted to bring up for the Poet Laureate that it's moving forward and nominations for the City Poet Laureate are going to start going out in May and we'll close the end of July 31st. And so it's just it's on here just so that's a reminder, a placeholder so that you know that I have not forgotten and that we are moving ahead. Also
That's
call for
pretty exciting. I
our
did talk to
application
them.
committee members are also going out June. And so if we revisit our timeline, which I've shared with you,
I don't think we ever reviewed like the final application though.
no, the final application is here. I have it up. And I took all of the chair's considerations and I revised it. And I can share it with you guys. And so I think we're ready to go.
Good, that's pretty exciting. I did talk to a friend who is very poetry savvy. And she was going to speak to someone that she knows that she said is a wonderful poet named Magdalena Rose.
Is
You know her, Victoria?
Yeah, she's the one who runs, isn't she the one who does the Poets Circle?
No, that's
Perhaps.
Magdalena
Oh.
Montag.
Never mind. I don't know this person.
Okay. Anyway, she is, yes.
So our job is to, as board members, is to put the word out that the call for nominations will be open. We're going to put this on the website, and we'll also do social media. And I'm also going to do a press release so that in the paper and also in the patch. So I want to put the word out. But also I would encourage the board members to please also, when the application also for committee members, that the deadline is July 31st, because as we said, it'll be the representative from the library, Victoria, who's the chair from the board, and then we'd like 3 more community members to participate so that we have an overall well-rounded committee.
That's great.
Okay. And then
So you will send us all this, Alicia, so like,
just shared it with you guys.
so we can now circulate this or not quite yet?
Not yet, in May. Yeah,
Oh, in May, we'll
yes, in May.
send it out into the world.
Mhm.
And it will be going out to the schools?
Yes. Mhm. It'll be
And,
going out to the schools also. Mhm.
I would wonder if it would be helpful for, someone very poetic, kind of centered Victoria to make some presentations to the schools about this wonderful opportunity.
That's a great idea. I could have our youth librarians, I'll have them go out and do, see if they can have a Zoom meeting with some of the teachers. I used the English department teachers.
So are you trying to reach people in school or?
No, actually, this is for adults. You're right.
Yeah, 18 and older.
It's 18 and older.
I thought it was open to everybody.
No, we don't have a youth poet laureate yet. That's our next goal.
Yes, it is.
This is for adult, an adult poet laureate. Thank you, Tony, for clarification. What you can encourage the youth is to submit their poetry for the poetry contest that's happening for National Poetry Month this month. So that's on our website too. So we'll send that out to the schools. So we're ready to go to reports.
Okay, do we have a representative from the Friends?
I'm sorry, are we gonna vote on the approval of this? We need to approve it. Because now it's official, right? You're not gonna make any more changes to it, or are you guys still gonna make changes to the application?
Oh, to the application?
I haven't looked at the application for the committee. I've only looked at the application for the Poet Laureate.
Yeah, I shared them both at the March meeting, but yeah, I know it's a lot.
I think the March one didn't
We
have
can
the
move it
edits.
to have it voted in, it'd be too late in May, right?
Yeah,
And then and Blanca's not here.
Yeah. Or we could push it out in June if we want the nominations to go out in June.
To be received.
By the end of August.
Oh, okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
So
Okay.
you changed the deadline there?
I'll change the timeline and the deadlines. So we'll give you time to look at these. And then we'll bring it up to a vote for the next meeting.
okay.
Okay.
Is there, please help me remember this. I guess I'm not remembering too good, but I thought we wanted to include students in our possible poet laureates.
No, that's I want to create a separate one, just a youth poet laureate, a recognized youth poet laureate.
Yeah, most libraries have a youth poet laureate, like they're separated.
Mhm.
It'd be great to do one for the youth.
I really want to hear what they have to say.
All righty. There's no one from the Friends at the meeting, but I just want to let you know that that we are preparing our budget requests for programming expenditures to be presented to them at the end of May. So Watonka and I are working on that, and the librarians have submitted their proposals, and we're going to compile them.
I think I see a typo in there. So yeah, we'll have to. It says
Yes.
equity.
Mm-hmm.
It says equit. Number 2.
Thank you.
We'll be looking at it, give you feedback.
Absolutely. In regards to programs, just want to remind you that it's Financial Literacy Month this month. And so we have a great list of books out on display in our library. We also have a challenge for a Beanstack Challenge, is a reading challenge online that you can participate. And then the librarian is asking for input from the community in regards to what type of workshops they would like to attend in regards to financial literacy. Then, and of course, I mentioned that the poetry contest is happening this month, and the deadline to submit entries is May 31st. So Victoria, if you have any of your students who would like to submit their works, that would be great. They would get gift certificates.
Is that for folks under 18?
Anybody, there's different categories. There's adults, high schools, middle school, and elementary.
Awesome. When's that due?
May 31st.
Okay, thank you.
And all the guidelines are on the website. And then just want to remind you that Earth Day is April 22nd, and we've also did a push to do a display, and then a social media post, and on our website also. And this year's theme is Restore Our Earth. And so the city also has a link that will send you to different organizations that are partnering to clean the sloughs, the beaches, and the parks. And we've also created a book list of various topics on how to go green. And I want to remind you to sign up for a newsletter, because this is where you get all our information. So I will be sending out a follow-up email with a link to our programs and also a link to our newsletter so that you can opt in to receive it. Yes, Don.
Alicia, have you connected with Tammy Stolzenthaler or anybody in the?
Yes.
Okay.
In the past, we've done programming with them in conjunction when it was in person, but we haven't, due to pandemic. But we're going to gear up and do more partnering with the wetlands, the science workshop, PAL, and police, PAL and Parks and Rec. Oh, I forgot to mention that we did a story time in collaboration with PAL, with the police and fire, and they read to students, to the public live on Facebook and Instagram. And it was just great to see our officers reading in both English and in Spanish to our community. And we got 3,000 plus views. So it was amazing. So I'm looking at doing that more and collaborating with other departments. And creating story times. Yes.
Whatever happened to Jose Antonio Vargas, that event? Did that happen or?
That is something that Ms. Watonka is going to report on if you're still there, because I don't see everyone.
Yeah, I'm here if you're ready for me.
Yes.
Great. Good evening, folks. Just a couple of quick updates so we can keep it brief, although I actually have a whole probably meeting's worth to tell you about, because our programming librarians have been hard at work with their plans for a lot of different initiatives. Of course, this is our big planning time for summer reading program. And then with the grant program that Alicia mentioned, with the virtual youth program, we're going to have a bunch of different initiatives that will be taking place. And then also with the Book to Action, which is what encompasses the Jose Antonio Vargas programs. For those programs, we're partnering with the Santa Cruz Public Library, a county-wide reading initiative. And the book that we have selected is Dear America, which I actually have right here. 3 different editions. We have Dear America, the story of an undocumented citizen. We have editions for young people, as well as the adult English and then Spanish editions. We're going to have a big event with the author. It's going to be a virtual event on June 24th. And we are collaborating again with Santa Cruz Public Libraries and also the Sunnyvale Library on that program. In addition to that, we're doing a bunch of other stuff. So we'll be having book discussions. We'll be making the documentary film Documented available. We'll be doing a panel event on the Watsonville is in the Heart exhibit that Roy Rosillo put together and his efforts with oral histories among the Filipino American community. And then we'll also be partnering with KSQD, K-Squid, to showcase some stories of immigration. It's going to be a great series of programs that will run from June through July. So you'll be hearing more about that. In terms of our summer reading program, the theme this year is Reading Colors Our World. And as I'm sure you guys all know, we've been putting together kits for patrons of all ages and in English and in Spanish. So there's a little bit of something to engage everyone. And the different kits, we have had a wide variety. We've had the STEAM kits, we've had storytime kits for preschool set, teen self-care kits, and then thematic kits, such as for this month, the financial literacy kits that patrons, the whole family can take to make a piggy bank. And then it's got materials on budgeting and lots of different resources, book lists, and then also kits for adults, which are the Fun on the Run kits with coloring or watercolors. So those have been super, super popular. And as a result, our librarians will be creating thematic kits for each week of the summer reading program. They're actually going to be themed with colors for each week. And the kits will be more comprehensive and with something for the whole family. So that's going to be exciting and yet to come. Just a little bit of specifics about the poetry contest that I want you guys to know. So of course you have the date, check the website. The date is May 31st by 11:59 p.m. for submissions. And the categories are for children, young adults, and adults. So those 4 divisions are elementary students, K through 2, and then grades 3 through 5 elementary students. Middle school students will be grades 6 through 8. High school students will be grades 9 through 12, and then adults. And so we are looking forward to those entries. The theme around those entries will be in anticipation of the Jose Antonio Vargas programs. So we're encouraging participants to explore the themes of equity, immigration, citizenship, and identity. And of course, people can kind of do whatever they decide to do with it, but that is a strong suggestion for the direction of it. And I think that's what I've got for now, unless you guys have any other questions.
Thank you, Watonka. And then just to finalize, you have a question, Victoria?
I just wanted to know, are they blind submissions or the name will be there? I don't know, just different committees do it differently.
Right. I think that the way we're going to do it is that winners are welcome to share their information. I mean, you could probably do under a pseudonym, and winners are going to be encouraged that if they would like to share contact information or to read, they're absolutely eligible to do so.
I meant more like I just finished reading for Journal X and we took out the names so that the board, the editorial board didn't know which poem belonged to whom. And it depends on you all. There's no requirement for that.
Right. That is my understanding. That it won't be attached to contact information when it's being judged.
You mean the name?
Right.
Will be excluded. So they'll just see the poem, but they won't see the name.
Yeah.
Good.
Alrighty. And I invited Tony Nortar, who is the Opportunity to Read Literacy Coordinator, to give you just a report of what's going on in the literacy department. They are such a great asset to our library. So Tony, I think you have sharing privileges, so I'll stop sharing.
I was wondering who that was.
I want to be more transparent. I want you to meet the rest of our staff, so and let you know what wonderful things are happening in the library.
And I'm having a problem. Give me just a
Hi,
second.
Tony.
Hi, Barb. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Tracy? But trying to live.
Yeah. So you know my heart is with Opportunity to Read.
Thank you.
Are you able to share, Tony?
I'm getting there.
Okay.
Yeah. So get rid of me. This just tells you a little bit about me, our phone number. Yeah. So basically, we provide free basic literacy instruction facilitation. I don't like the word instruction. Basically, we enable adults to reach their goals and realize their dreams, their potential. They also become more involved in the community. Right now, we have a critical need for volunteer tutors. 17% of Californians 25 and older have not attained a high school diploma or GED, and 18% of them read at or below the 5th grade level.
Wow.
Those statistics are actually taken from the Public Library Quarterly. It's called The Value of California's Public Libraries, and the authors were Natalie Cole and Cheryl Stenstrom. Pretty hardcore numbers, but what you have to realize is that in our community, those numbers are close to double. So volunteer tutors are trained. We do all of that. We support them. What they do is to facilitate a learner on their individual literacy journey. And I say individual because we do not have an established or set curriculum, because that's not what we're here to do. What we're here to do is help those individuals achieve the goals they need to do. So they may come in and say, I want to get my citizenship, or I want to get my GED. So then we create a plan for that person to reach their goal. Not like a school where you have a set curriculum that everyone has to go through. We do it primarily one-on-one tutoring. That's been our lifeblood. But hey, we have learned to do virtually. We incorporate lots of real-life materials. We provide all of those resources. Yeah, share the wealth of reading. The only thing we ask that our tutors be able to do is speak, read, and write in English. There is no requirement to be bilingual. We'd like that you want to help other adults and make an impact. We ask that people try to be patient, flexible, and willing to share. Tutors and learners meet at their own convenience. We do suggest that you meet at least once a week for at least an hour. But it's up to you guys, however you'd like to do that. You can use the literacy center, the library. I've had people meet at grocery stores and go down the aisles together. And now we're meeting via Zoom. So basically, these are the things we're doing right now. We have grammar and basic reading classes in the mornings via Zoom. We have a focus group, which is basically a goal setting group, and it meets in the evenings. We do free trainings in phonemics and grammar, technology, comprehension, spelling, writing, and digital literacy. And like the library, with our grant from the California State Library, which this year was almost $54,000, I did purchase 15 little tablets. I couldn't remember what they were called, sorry. And we checked those out to our learners so that our learners could continue to participate in our morning classes via Zoom or in the focus class, which without those, they would not have the ability to participate in those meetings. So this is the main part that makes us a little different from every other literacy program. We are firmly a learner-centered philosophy. We believe that the learner and the tutor are equal partners, and both voices have to be considered when making the plan to reach the individual's goal. We focus on, and we actually have both learners and tutors sign agreements. And we use what's called the 4 agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz, which is be impeccable with your word, don't take anything personally, don't make assumptions, and always do your best. And then we move into what's called the inspired learning model. And that's how we like our tutors to present whatever they're doing with their learner. It's not a matter of teaching or facilitating, it's more a platform for delivery. So that starts with maintaining confidentiality. And we ask that everyone be open to learn with a beginner's mind. We ask that people practice a positive focus. And we ask that they practice listening deeply and with honor. We want people to connect at a deep and sincere level. We want you to be responsible for yourself and your experience. We'd like you to give only authentic and positive acknowledgement. And we want you to receive your acknowledgement and support. Practice self-care and allow others to do so, and be fully present. Went fast, but I think you guys are all ready to call it a night. So basically we need your help. Spread the word, talk about opportunity to read, refer both learners and tutors, encourage others to volunteer, share the gift of reading. It changes lives. I can tell you right now, we have 20 virtual tutors, most of whom are not from Watsonville, but they are literally tutoring Watsonville residents and helping them to improve their basic English skills. We have 14 regular in-person who are working either via Zoom or FaceTime or some other technological platform. And we have 12 tutors that are on hold who want to wait until the pandemic is over. So that's a total of 58 pairs. However, that doesn't count all of our learners who go to our morning classes, our focus classes, and our family literacy services program, which is a huge one. We have 13 families in that. So we just need more tutors. I have always found if we have more tutors, I can find more learners. So that's opportunity to read. This is the first time I've been requested to do anything with the library board, and I appreciate the opportunity, and I'm glad to be here.
So I have a
am very
comment.
prejudiced and or whatever's the correct word towards Barbara Corrigan because I like her.
As a former tutor, I have to say it's a very rewarding thing to do. It's wonderful.
Well, Alicia, are these numbers recorded in the date? Sounds like really important stuff.
Yes, I keep my own statistics and I return them over to the library monthly.
That would be really good for us to see, I think, just to kind of see what kind of outreach is happening there and that kind of stuff. Sounds great. You know, good job.
Thank you.
Stop sharing, Tony, and yeah, there we go. Yeah, you had a question, Victoria?
Cabrillo College has this opportunity for students to earn college credits, which are transferable for doing volunteer work. So it'd be kind of cool if you reached out to the coordinator of that
I
program.
have, and I've asked them to participate with us in our program. In the past, they've only sent us 2 students. One lasted for about 3 months and the other one didn't start. But if they have our information and know that we're more than willing to take people on. In fact, we take quite a few volunteers from CSUMB. So, but yeah, I'm willing to consider anybody. I take a lot of volunteers to do office work and that type of thing from a place called reemployability, when people are hurt on their job, but they're required to do some type of volunteer work in order to receive their compensation. They can come and work for me.
So thank you, Tony, so much. I know it's late, and for bearing with us through the whole meeting. Usually they don't last this long, but we had to go
No
through
problem.
the bylaws. But it was a pleasure having you here. We want to make sure that, you know, you are heard. And so you are a vital part of our library community. So thank you for being here and giving us that presentation.
Thank you for asking me.
Mhm.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
So do you want to, Barbara, say that the meeting has been adjourned?
I think it's time, don't you?
But you have to be official and you have to
Yes,
say.
I would like to adjourn this meeting.
All righty. Duly noted.
Okay. Wow,
Thank you,
this is the longest meeting we've ever had.
But it was
Did
informative.
a lot, yes.
Thank you all.
Thank you all,
night.
and be sure to
you.
look at
Good night.
the Poet Laureate
next month.
application and for the committee members, and please make changes if needed.
Yeah.
See you at the library.
Thank you. Thank you,
you.
Alex, also, and Watanya.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
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 All right.
Thanks,
you.
Luz.